Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Superbike 22. So yesterday during the live stream, a big thank you to everyone who came out. It was really enjoyable. I had a blast of a time and I hope you guys did too. But I had some issues towards the end of the stream where I lost all the feeling and sensation of the bikes, and it was really strange. But I went back to the defaults and I changed all of my settings over, and I found something out. I realised that I wasn't braking with the rear brake as well as downshifting. And going back and playing MotoGP 22 and comparing it to MotoGP 21 as well, it is very important to use the rear brake, and with me not using it as much as I would have wanted, I am beginning to realise that is why I was struggling so much, especially in the online sessions. Now, something also to mention as well as the purpose of this video is I've discovered that my controller setup doesn't work with Superbike 22 now that I've swapped over to manual gears, because the manual gears required me to press triangle to upshift and circle to downshift. Now of course, if I'm trying to downshift and use the rear brake at the same time, it's not going to work. So I have made a slight change, and you can probably tell already from the controller overlay, but basically R1 is now my downshift instead of circle. Everything else remains the same, so triangle is still the upshift, L2 for front brake, square for the rear brake, and R2 for the acceleration. But now I've made this change, I do feel a lot more confident with the bikes now, a lot more stronger in some areas. Not a massive difference because unfortunately my gearing still sucks, but until I get the hang of the gearing properly and learning the tracks and learning that these steel brakes don't quite brake as well as they do, and there's the carbon brakes in MotoGP, I think we're on to something. I think I should be able to improve a lot more now, because I did get rather frustrated towards the end of the stream, and just not doing very well and not hitting my potential is certainly something I'm going to have to deal with when I'm learning something new, such as the manual gears. But if you want to try the setup, I do ideally recommend something very similar, so you've got to have space for you to both use the rear brake and the downshift at the same time. And if you had a controller configuration like I did, it didn't really pan out. Something to mention as well is we did play around with the sort of calibration with the controller, changing the linearity, the saturation of some buttons, and I didn't like it. I tried and it didn't really feel properly to me. It didn't feel like it was going to work, so I reset everything back to normal. I'm also not using a setup anymore. I found that my suspension setup idea didn't probably work, so I've gone back to completely default, completely bare bones for everything else, but just change the controls, and I do feel a lot better. I might not be that quick, but I feel better, and that's all that matters. I was quite quick on MotoGP 22, but sadly that's not corresponding with Superbike 22 at this stage of the game. But of course, we've still got a lot more content to do, a lot more videos to make, and a lot more in general gaming to do. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to wave the white flag, and I'm not too concerned. But I would recommend fiddling around with the controls, see what works best for you. If you like my style of braking, etc., give it a try. But if you don't, maybe change it up as well. Don't be afraid of a bit of change every now and again. The biggest change for me was changing to manual gears, and I don't particularly like the change because I'm pretty bad at it. But I think what will happen in the future when we get it right, and that's what we're going to look at. Always plan ahead and think of the future. But apart from that, guys, I guess that's pretty much it for me, so I guess we'll conclude this lap and see how we get on. But I'm hoping to improve the lap time here. Did a few laps earlier on, yesterday should I say, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think I'm 8th on the leaderboard, but there's only like 8 players who have competed using Garrett Gerloff's Yamaha, and I don't know whether it's just the riding style of Gerloff compared to Top Rack, but I do feel better on this Yamaha than I did with Top Racks. But now that we have the square and the gearing sorted as well, I think we've got a lot of potential. Still don't particularly like the braking as such, but again, it's all about getting used to it and having fun as well. And I'm having more fun now that I've got this setup. I say it's a setup, it's more of a controller configuration. I mustn't get that confused because I'm actually just not running a setup anymore. Everything is bog standard, everything is default, and I feel a little bit better with it, we'll be honest. And my biggest problem as well is commentating and remembering to downshift at the same time. That's rather difficult for me. But into the final sector then. Certainly not going to be an improvement this time around, but I feel better. The rider looks smoother, and as far as I'm concerned, I can live with that. It's just that gearing just sucks so much, doesn't it? We'll get there. We'll promise we'll get there. So guys, into the final corner then for the Catalunya corner. Gonna just give it some power, and that is going to be it from me today. Thanks for watching as always. Big thanks to everyone who supported me on the stream yesterday. Big thank you to Shell as well for the donation. If you want to make a donation, you can do so with a link in the description down below. But upon that note guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi! Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.